Hello and welcome to Sportsvibe TV. Today we're joined by Leicester and England star Austin Healey.
Hello.
Obviously the European Championships this weekend. First of all, Saracens Clermont, game on BT, and Toulon Leinster.
Yeah.
Deserving of the four teams to be there?
I think so, yeah. I think the quarterfinals were close. You could argue that Wasps, maybe with Nathan Hughes, might have put up a bit more of a fight with Toulon. Toulon going for, is it 3 in a row now? Which would be quite remarkable, to be honest. No, I'm looking forward to the semis, and for once, I think that both could be won by the away side.
Yeah, right. Yeah, that was the next question. How do you think it's played out? Why do you think the away side is going to come out on top this week?
Well, if you're a betting man, only 37% chance you've got of the away side winning. So maths for you then, if double that happens in terms of probability, you're looking at about 1 in 6, which is not very likely for both of them to win. But I just think that the way that the games are stacked up, Lee Halfpenny's injured, their points machine for Toulon, which means that Leinster will be able to attack more around the midfield in terms of both with the ball in hand and defensively. And then the big game against Clermont, Saracens are Clermont's bogey side. Clermont have been the bridesmaids for a number of years, and we've watched Sarries very closely on BT Sport over there in Paris a few weeks ago, and I just think that maybe the momentum's with Sarries.
And where do you think the key battles, or where do you think the game won and lost in the Sarries game, first of all?
I think the Sarries, you have to contain Nick Abandonon. If you can contain him, he sort of gets Clermont out of a lot of trouble on numerous occasions. We saw it in the group stage between Clermont and Sarries, where he scored a nice try. He carried for, I think, almost 200 metres in that game. He's top of the metres list, scored a lot of tries. He's beaten almost more defenders than anyone else. I think only Natataki has beaten more than him, and he's on his team as well. So those two threats really are, I think, an area that Saracens will concentrate on. But normally, defensively, you think about Nick Abandonon, that you're the opposition fullback, you're against him, but he's actually against the tight five, because he sits in behind the breakdown very well, waits, and then waits for the referee actually to get in the defensive line and attacks and runs at the referee. Very clever footballer, and Sarries will have to contain him.
And as a former halfback yourself, Brock Jones, can implode. Played well last week. Do you reckon 2 weeks on the trot playing well?
I don't know. Like you said, he's a bit mercurial, hard to judge. He was terrible in the semi-final last year, 46-6. So I think he's definitely a player that Sarries will target.
And Billy Vunipola is hearing today for a lead strike on Matthew Tate in the week. You're shaking your head already, so just give us your thoughts on that.
The most ridiculous sighting I think I've ever seen. The Nathan Hughes one was bad enough, which was an accident. And now Vunipola's just tried to take the space, but because he's massive and Matthew Tate's not, Tate's come off worse. That happens. And his head's down now. Unless Vunipola has had eyes put in the top of his head, I'm not so sure he knew Tate was there. Or maybe he did, and even if he did, he's entitled to own that space over the ruck. And you can't penalise someone, you can't cite someone for coming in at the side.
No.
You can cite someone for foul play or something off the ball, but you can't cite them for a penalty offence, which effectively it is at the absolute most.
Do you think on that logic, not there was much logic in the Nathan Hughes incident as of such, you think it'll be overturned and he'll be able to play this weekend?
Well, if I was Saracens and it's not overturned, I'd pull out the game.
Yeah.
Just say the game's gone mad, that's it, we've had enough, we're all going off to the beach. But you can't cite him and ban him for that. If he gets banned for that, the game has officially gone mad and soft.
Cool. And Clermont lost in the top 14 in the week at home to Auvergne. Do you think that'll have any bearing on the teams? Obviously, a different side set up to the one that was set up this weekend.
Yeah, they rested a lot of players, but it's not good for Sarries because they don't lose very often. That's the second time in something like 62 games they've lost at home. So you don't want that to happen. If you're playing them the following week, because you'll get a backlash. But we thought, like this weekend in the Aviva Premiership, we thought that Northampton would show a response to the backlash from losing to Clermont, and yet they were terrible. So who knows? Maybe it's lost a bit of momentum for Clermont.
Bringing on to the second semi-final in Marseille, 2 European giants, obviously copious winners over the recent years. How do you think they want to play out?
Well, you can. The others obviously are broadcasting that. I think that I do think that it'll be a tough game for Toulon without Halfpenny. They rely on him to kick penalties, and Leinster will be ferocious. It's all or nothing for them. Well, it's for everyone, I suppose, but really it's the end of their season if they don't win it.
What will Leinster have to do in particular to come out on top in front?
Just physically match the Toulon pack. If they do that, then I think they've probably got the upper hand in the back line. I would target Dylan Armitage quite a lot. I'd also stop Stefan from getting over the ball. I think that they're, in my mind, with Madigan playing well, I put them down as favourites.
Key battles, any particular matches up you're looking forward to seeing in action?
Key battles really will be for the Leinster fans not getting sunburnt down in Marseille. That's one of the biggest ones of the day. I think individually, just as sides, they've got to go into it, and it's not a home game for Toulon. Same for Clermont. Clermont pride themselves on their own stadium as a fortress, but it's an away game really. It's Saint Etienne. Same in Marseille for Toulon. So I think both Leinster and in particular Sarries have got to take advantage of that early on, because we know how the French fans are. They can turn on their own team very, very quickly. And
there's obviously 2 French teams in the semis this year, 2 last year. What's going wrong with the national team, Austin?
The national side?
National side, yeah.
You'll have to ask Saint-Andre or probably Ibanez soon, I thought,
yeah.
If you believe all the rumours. But I don't know. There's too many foreigners in the league. There's not enough homegrown talent. They've got loads of talent, France. I just don't think they're utilising it in the right way. And French club rugby is attritional. To my mind, it's a bit boring. It's a bit big and bosh. Whereas France, that's all they seem to bring when they come to the Six Nations. Seems to work for them in the World Cup when games are a bit tighter because they're used to those tight games. But when it's more expansive in the Six Nations and in their autumn internationals, they really struggle, and they struggle with the motion around the field. And the clubs don't support the union. The union's got no money. All the power in France is with the clubs.